Good morning.
I was going to say happy solstice because I'm always unclear. I mean, we're recording this on solstice. Tomorrow, we're recording this for the 22nd, but depending on what calendar, I think it's the 21st through the 22nd is solstice.
Well, I think when it hits depends on where we are in the 4-year cycle of leap year and leap day. So this year it's on the 21st, but some years, yes, it is on the 22nd.
Good point.
Yeah. So, but this year it falls on the 21st, which is the day we're recording it and the day the social media image has Stonehenge.
Right. So I'm just going to say happy solstice anyway.
Happy belated solstice to those of you celebrating Yule. There we go.
Love it. Yay. So you're home.
Because I think, yeah, I'm home. I've actually been home for a few days. Surprise, everybody. We had to pre-record. So I got home on the 19th. And let me tell you, traveling with just your carry-on allowance makes life so much easier when you travel internationally. And also, we have global entry too, which is this handy dandy thing. So so first of all, we don't have to wait for our bags because we have all our bags. Right. So that's fine. But then when you go through
customs
or immigration, when you go through immigration, there's just a machine that if you have global entry, they've already checked your background.
Yeah, they've already done it.
So you just go up, and at this point, you don't even have to show your passport. You just show up, and the machine takes a picture of your face, and then the face it pulls up your passport, and as you go through the thing, the border agent's there with a iPad, and is like, Anne, and you're like, yep, and she's like, okay, and you just walk through. You just walk through. The whole process took about 40 seconds, maybe, and that's because there was someone in line in front of me and I had to wait for 10 seconds.
It's facial recognition.
Yeah. It's facial recognition. And it's, and we walked by, and of course, it's Christmas holiday travel going on. And so even they separate when you fly internationally, if you have a certain passport, like a US passport, and maybe Canada, I forget who the agreements are with, you go into one line and everyone else goes into another line.
I see. Okay.
And that line, the US passport line, usually goes a little quicker because it's our passport.
Right.
So the other one usually takes a while.
Yeah.
But this time, both of those lines were just the back and forth were just packed.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely packed.
Wow.
And so if we had checked bags or if we didn't have global entry, we probably would have been there for over an hour just waiting.
Oh, wow.
Just for that. And so, yeah, from the time our plane touched the ground until we arrived at the rental car place was exactly 1 hour. And that includes the taxi to get, taxiing to get to
the shuttle thing to the parking lot?
No, the taxiing, on the airplane.
The
from
plane.
When we landed.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're at JFK. So it was probably 15 minutes of just driving to get to the gate and then get on the gate and walk through and then got on there's a train that takes you to the rental car place. And we sat in our rental car 1 hour after our plane touchdown.
Wow.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Obviously I do not travel that much, but that could be increasing in the near future. And so I went ahead and did the TSA pre-check thing just, for domestic travel. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's not worth it. Don't bother. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. I drove to a neighboring city that's only an hour away. It wasn't Cheyenne. It was Cheyenne doesn't do this anymore, the identity thing. They don't have a TSA office there. So it was at another town in Nebraska, but I'm right near the border. So it was no big deal.
Uh-huh.
But they have the identity verification people that do that. And it was what is it? $75, $80. It took me longer to drive there and back than it did to do the thing.
Yeah.
And I took the proper identification.
Really quick.
I don't have a passport yet. but I took the proper identification with me, and the guy was really nice, and I didn't even I mean, I had an appointment, I didn't wait, I was on time. I was in and out of there in, like, 15 minutes, and I know that
Yeah,
it's
it's
like 75 or $80, and people are like, "That's not worth it," and I'm like, "You know what? To me, it is, because if I'm
yeah.
flying like I went to Dallas, I didn't have to wait. I'm like, "Bzzoop," right through security, TSA PreCheck, I'm done.
So TSA
To me, it's
PreCheck
worth it.
works out sort of like if you're of a certain age, like Jana and my age, you probably remember what security was like before
9/11.
9/11, where
Sure.
you just put your bags down and you go through a metal detector.
Yeah.
And that's what TSA PreCheck is now. Is you don't have to take anything out of your bags.
No, I don't have to take off
You don't
keys.
have to take your computer out. You don't have to take anything out. You just put it all on the on the
Yeah,
thingy,
in the plastic
and
bin, and then it
yeah,
goes through the thing, and you walk through, and they're like, "Have a good day," and you're like, "Thanks,
yeah.
dude." Yeah.
And it's not, and I have been stopped before, so it's not like they're not looking at the
Yeah,
bags as they go through.
you can get searched,
Yeah,
if you draw the lottery number, I mean, you can. They do
right,
that, like, 1 in however many people, just
right.
randomly.
Well, and they if they see anything where they're kind of like unsure what it might be,
Yeah,
they'll
do I
stop
look
you.
suspicious?
So I had these toiletry containers that I had to stop using. They were these in theory, the on paper, they are such clever containers.
Okay.
They're little six-sided
Oh,
hexagons. They're
okay.
about this big. They have little pop-off things that you can use as labels. So part of the lid will come off and you can put another one on that says like shampoo or medication or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the lid itself is magnetic, so it'll stick to
Oh.
the side of the container itself and won't go flying.
Oh, it's a
It's
metal container.
no, well, it's plastic. It has metal in it, but it's
Okay,
plastic covered. So if it falls, it doesn't break or dent.
I see.
Like, they all fit together because of the shape. They all sort of like, and you can
Like
like pick them
being
all up
like a
like
honeycomb
this,
together.
like a honeycomb. I was like, "Oh, take my money." Like, I was so happy to get these. I thought they were so genius.
Until
Until I tried to go through TSA PreCheck, and every time I used them, TSA PreCheck would stop me because it looked like they were like, "We don't know. There's something weird in your bag, and we don't know what it is." And
well,
so
yeah,
I would have to take it out and show them, "It's a toiletry kit. And they'd be like, "Wow, that's amazing. We've never seen that before." And I'd be like, "Great. Okay, thanks." And I put it all back and go. And then
but
next time I went through,
yeah.
next
I
time I went
can
through. And
see
so,
why it would look like something explosive, however,
yeah, because it's like
given the
we see
shape.
little plastic containers, but they're
Mhm.
seeing a metal honeycomb, you
Right.
know? So
I can
they're
see
like,
why that looks bad.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
had to stop using those, but also at the same time, I was like, well, okay, so they are actually paying attention to what's in the bags in the
Yes.
TSA
So
pre-check,
that's
it's
good.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, TSA pre-check, global entry.
To me, it was worth it, just because I don't like standing in line. I'd rather go early and sit somewhere and knit. I don't wanna just stand there.
Yeah.
And with, like, people in my personal space, I don't like that. I have issues. I have issues. Yes. Oh,
There were several times on this trip where I was like, so we're just back to normal now. Like we're not worrying about personal space or anything. People are
oh.
right up in
I'm
your
like, "Get away
face.
from me." I like individuals. I hate people. Like,
Yeah.
people. I love individuals. I do not like
Yeah.
the masses. But
Yeah.
yeah, it does seem like that. We're just, so I like to be able to go to the concourse or go to the gate and find a little corner with my back to the wall where I can kind of people watch because I find that entertaining. And I
Yep.
can sit there and knit and with my earbuds in so I don't have all the noise and just have my little knitting time. But that does not include standing in line for 40 minutes.
No.
So
No.
to me, that money was well spent. Even if I
Yeah.
don't travel very often, it's still worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, the best way to do that is to sign up for it at a non-major airport or a non-major city.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anywhere, I think pretty much anywhere there's like a immigration office or a border crossing point,
Mm.
they will is where you can go because you do have to go in person.
Oh, you
You have
mean
to
the
present
global
yourself in
thing?
person
Well, yeah, and the TSA thing, the global thing
for
and
the
the pre-check. Yeah,
TSA.
they're both
Yeah.
in-person things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to be in
yeah,
person. So when we had to renew, we all do it, all 4 of us.
right.
And I think we're sort of equidistant between the Boston office and the um New York office.
Yeah.
And either one of those, it was like a multiple month wait, like
Oh,
2, 3 months, to go have an appointment to go in and do it.
really?
But there's a border crossing up in Canada, like 4 hours from us. But at the same
Correct.
time, all their slots were open, and so we just had, like, a nice family day. We drove up to the Canadian border. My side of the family, my grandmother's side of the family is actually from that area where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crossing was, and so we were, like, driving around looking at different things, and we went and had our appointment, and then we
Yeah,
came home, and it was just, like, a nice day out.
right. And where I went for my TSA pre-check thing is a very small regional airport. I
Yeah.
mean, I got online, you go online at tsa.gov and you fill out their questionnaire, and then they told me appointments that were available, and it was like 3 days later. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. If you're, like, near a major hub and it looks like it's gonna take forever, just sort of expand your options a little bit.
Well, welcome back. It's
Thank
good to be
you.
back with your
Travel tips with Anne.
that's right. Don't buy the hexagonal honeycomb toiletry kit. It's
No,
cool, but maybe not.
it's not worth it.
Right. Go
It's not
get your
worth the hassle.
TSA pre-check.
Yes.
And I will say, when I went to Dallas, I'll put below in the video description, um, shout out to Terri, my fantastic patron who met me at the airport and lives in the area and, like, took me around, held my hand, all that. But she's the one that told me about this YouTube channel that has travel tips with this woman. I can't think of her name offhand, but I'll look it up, put it in the video description, the link.
Yes.
But she has a YouTube channel, and she is the wife of a commercial airline pilot, and he's, been flying for like 25, 30 years. So she has all kinds of cool ideas.
Right.
And so because I hadn't flown in so long, Terry turned me onto this channel and I like binged a whole bunch of episodes and I'm like, that's awesome. And so I was able to do the whole, you know, 4 days with just a carry-on and my backpack with my laptop, and it was super easy, and I had enough room because shout out to my sister, because I borrowed her hard-sided Samsonite thing that, like, opens like this, and one side has a buckle thing and the other side has the mesh thing.
Uh-huh.
I was able to bring home a truckload of yarn
Yeah.
because I packed well and I had space for all that yarn that I got at DFW at the Fiber Fest.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wore the same pants 4 days in a row, and it's not like I got sweaty or spilled lunch on it, so I don't care. That allowed me to bring home all that yarn.
Yeah. I think people don't realize, um,
How little you
how how well you can pack,
Yes.
like, so if you I did a thing when I was doing Movember, I did a little video where I was like, I'm going to do a capsule wardrobe. And then it was like, psych, I was actually traveling with this wardrobe.
Oh, yeah, I
And it
remember, I
was,
saw that.
I did a week. I did a week out of a carry-on.
Yeah.
And not just the carry-on, but if you always check the dimensions of your airline of what you're allowed to bring, and
Yep.
then what I do is I measure and I find, like, we travel so much, we have a variety of bags now,
Yeah.
but I always take the maximum amount of bag space that I can. So I have a carry-on that's your sort of normal carry-on size. But then when you fly internationally on a major carrier, your second item is almost as big as a carry-on. It's only slightly smaller. And a
Okay.
lot of people don't realize that. They're like, "Oh, I'll take this and I'll take my purse, or I'll take this and I'll take a backpack." But your sort of normal backpack is only about a half to two-thirds of the amount of space that you can bring for a second bag. You
You
could
can
you can
shove under that
find
seat.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
can find other bags that are bigger and maximize your space. So when I flew this time, did the same thing. I had my hard-sided carry-on that is the max size I can bring.
Yeah.
And then for my second bag, I just packed that inside of it. And then I had a normal purse
Yep.
that I took going. On the way back, um, we'd bought a few Christmas gifts that were fragile, and
Oh,
so I had to pack a little more carefully to protect those.
mhm.
Otherwise, I wouldn't even like, I had enough space going that I didn't even technically need the extra space coming back. I just had it, but because of the fragile stuff, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
it worked
saying?
out well. Mhm.
So I left my purse, my smaller purse in the bag, and my big second bag was about half full because of the thing. Anyway, and so anyway, like I'm just saying, do your research, find out the sizes, buy appropriate size bags, and just you really can like capsule wardrobe for like a week, 10 days,
Oh, had I not brought home all
and
that
still
yarn,
have plenty of
I
plenty
could
of space.
easily brought a second pair of pants had I
Yeah.
not had all that yarn and been
Yeah.
fine for like a week, not just 4 days. But
One
I
more
do.
one more thing I'll say is, don't if you are going to try and save space by packing travel-sized travel size, you know, shampoo, travel-sized hairspray, travel-sized whatever, don't do that until you get there.
Yeah.
Don't buy it and pack it with you. A lot of airlines will have a drugstore after you land, like in the travel after you land, or once you get to your hotel, just find a CVS or something and then go buy the travel sizes that you can't live without for
You know
whatever
what?
reason.
I didn't even worry about any of that. I knew that the hotel would have the teeny little shampoo and conditioner, and I'm not that
Yeah.
picky.
But some people are. Some people
That's
are
true.
like, I
That's
want to
fine.
have my argan oil, whatever, whatever. And so I'll go buy the travel size of it. Well, there's Targets and CVS's and whatever equivalents
Yeah.
all around the world.
Anyway, hooray! Travel
Anyway,
and we should have a graphic for that. I don't have time.
travel tips with him.
So, just to follow up, I wanted to follow up on a couple things we talked about while you were gone.
Okay.
And one of them is the history of tinsel, because we talked about that
Yes.
when we talked about the Ukrainian spider web. And
Yes.
the legend there went that there was a spider that escaped the dust mop, you know, and so the spider went up in the tree and was building its web. And you know, it was lovely, it was beautiful, and the sunlight made it sparkle. So then, I mean, that's one legend of but the beginning of tinsel is in that same vein, where
Oh, okay.
where in 1610 Nuremberg, Germany, they started. Okay, let me back up. The word tinsel comes from a French word that I cannot pronounce, but it means
Okay.
spark. And in
Okay.
Germany, they used to have real candles in a Christmas tree.
Right.
And so the wealthy they'd pound out thin pieces of silver to reflect the light of the candle and
Okay.
make it all sparkly. Well, we don't do real candles for obvious reasons. I'm sure many a cottage burned
We
down in
going
1610.
to say we live in wooden houses instead of marble palaces. So
Yeah, I mean, and little places, in the Middle Ages with thatched roofs. I mean, you can see why
yeah,
that's a problem.
bad
And
idea.
so they the wealthy had it because obviously it was actual silver pounded really
Uh-huh.
thin and sparkly, but then they started making silver type of fabric, or what we know as tinsel now, to reflect the light and make it all sparkly.
Okay.
But it's not good if you have cats still.
No.
you
See,
know.
I would have guessed like maybe the 30s, maybe the 20s, you know. I wouldn't have put it that late or that far back,
Well,
you know.
the actual silver, yeah,
Yeah.
pounded out, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then we had a gal in the comments who's from Ukrainian descent, and she was like, "Yes, I've heard about the spider legend or the spider story, and now apparently you have there's ornaments with spiders, kind of as
Yeah.
as a hearkening back to that. So
Yeah.
that was
Now
interesting.
I wanna get a spider for my tree. I wanna
Just save one from Halloween.
yeah.
Stick it on there, little plastic spiders. Yeah,
And then people be like, "You have a weird Halloween tree," and I'll be like, "No, this is
actually,
Christmas spirit."
right. You could, yes. So speaking of weird, well, not weird, but things that we as Americans may not
Unusual to
be used
Americans.
to,
Right.
the Christmas pickle. You've heard of this.
Yes.
And I don't know why we've seen the Christmas pickle. I've seen it like in a I was at a like a convenience store,
Yeah.
and you know how sometimes the pump doesn't work right and you have to go in to see what the deal is and they reset it or you have to pay inside, whatever. But they had like little Christmas pickles at the convenience store. What's up?
Yeah, it's a thing. I feel like maybe 15 years ago was the first time I heard about it. And like my mom was telling me, like, I heard about this thing with the Christmas pickle. And she went and had like one of the glass ornament things that she's like, now I have a pickle in my Christmas tree. And she told me at the time, and I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. And now I'm like, I should have listened to my mom. I don't know what it is.
So
So,
allegedly, there's a couple different stories surrounding the Christmas pickle.
okay.
I don't know. So again, if people have a clue what is actually the correct, maybe nobody
Oh,
knows,
who knows?
whatever.
Yeah, who knows at this point?
But
Yeah.
apparently, there was a German American soldier who was like about to die, and a guard gave him a pickle. And you know how the pickle juice has, electrolytes and
Oh, okay.
pickle juice after a marathon. I don't know if that's part of it or not, but allegedly he ate the pickle and he lived.
Jana, the funny thing is, see, our viewers don't know this because I'm acting right now, but I'm not feeling very well today. And before I came on, I ate a pickle and I do feel a little better. So I'm thinking it was dehydration part of my problem.
Well, it could be because you actually texted me and said, I need about 30 minutes for my Tylenol to kick in
You know,
because you had a headache and
I did.
when people travel, they often get a cold and I hope
Yeah,
that's
I don't know
not.
what's going on, but it may just be the pickle helping makes me think that it might be dehydration I'm dealing with. And so I might eat another pickle after this
Okay.
and have more water. But so I can see how that
The
would
Christmas pickle could help
it,
you.
yeah, the Christmas pickle was helping me out. I didn't even know it was a Christmas
Thanks.
pickle. It was just a pickle. Now I feel festive,
And maybe cured.
maybe possibly cured by the pickle.
Maybe you should give your
It
husband a Christmas pickle too, since he's not feeling so
I
great.
know his is a full on cold though. His is definitely not dehydration.
But maybe it would help.
Maybe it would. It maybe would.
I probably wouldn't hurt unless he
We have
hates
2
pickles.
jars of pickles in our fridge right now, like the Clausen cold kind of pickles.
Oh,
Those are good
chow
pickles.
down.
Okay, what was the other thing that you learned about the pickles though? I am team healing pickle now. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. But
So
tell me the other one.
back in the I can't, okay, I have the dates wrong, I'm sure, so I'm not even gonna pretend.
In the
Somewhere,
olden times.
yes, somewhere, I mean, not centuries ago, but many decades ago,
Okay.
Woolworths had a bunch of Christmas ornaments that were blown glass, and they were various fruits, and
Okay.
one of which was a pickle. And it got put on the tree, and people thought it was cool. Similarly, harkening back to the German thing, though, probably not connected to Woolworths, but the Germans in the Christmas spirit would hide a pickle in the branches of the Christmas tree, and
Yeah.
the first child to find the pickle got to open their present first.
Okay. See,
So it's
I
like a
think
Where's Waldo
that's
kind of thing or an I Spy
yeah.
thing with the Christmas pickle.
The whole finding of the finding the pickle thing, finding the pickle ornament, that is what I was told, but I don't know why. Like, why,
Why
crazy
a
Uncle
pickle?
John? Why, crazy Uncle Johann, are you making me look for a pickle in order to open my present,
But
you
it
know?
was supposed to be the whole thing from the soldier surviving and the
Okay, 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 okay. I
and
see. So
it
it's
was
a combo.
I
So,
don't
like,
know.
you
I'm
had the
making this
pickle
up.
idea, and then they were like, "It's green, the Christmas tree's green. This'll be a little tricky."
We're drawing a corollary to make it make sense.
Okay.
But maybe that's not it. So somebody can correct us in the comments because mostly we're full of it.
Yep.
Sprinkles.
Oh,
It's
that
still fun to
pickle.
look these things up.
It
And
is.
who knew that tinsel went
I
back to the 1600s?
I did not know. It makes sense now that I think about it, that some rich guy with too much money was like, "Get me some thin silver and put it on my tree
To make the light sparkle.
to make the light sparkle." My mom was obsessive with the tinsel. It
Right.
like we would get a tree, we would decorate the tree, and the tree would be lovely. And then my mom would buy 10 boxes of the tinsel.
No. Oh my
10
word.
boxes of the tinsel. And
Horrible.
then she would sit and she would do it strand by strand.
No.
Because, like, if the little branch was like that, you couldn't just put, like, it had to be like a strand, a strand, a strand, a strand, a strand. And it would take her 3 evenings after work. She would come home and work on it. And then it would be like a metal tree, and you could hardly see the ornaments. And you could see like the colors sparkling from the lights. But
Yeah.
it would be like, come on, mom. Like, what?
Wow.
What the heck? But it was like the generation she grew up in.
Yeah.
That was like
What you
the
did.
fancy trees.
And now they have flocked trees, which I personally think are disgusting. But
Well, I mean, that's an old thing too, and I was really surprised because, okay, so yeah, flocking was used to be an olden days thing too, and it fell out of style. And then we were walking in London, and we had a young couple behind us who were walking, and they were like walking too close. So
so
Adam
you're
and I
looking at them like,
stepped,
are they going to pickpocket us or what?
we sort of stepped aside to let them go by, but they were talking, they were in a deep relationship debate over whether they should get a flocked tree or not. And he was not for it. And she was making all kinds of arguments for getting a flocked tree.
Hopefully they didn't have a cat.
Well, and I was just like, why is this back? Why is this a thing again? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I don't know. If you like a flocked tree, I'm not against it. It's your tree. It's your tree.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not gonna tree shame.
You do you.
You do you.
Excellent. I
Yeah.
remember tinsel though when I was a child. And because we lived usually in the Rocky Mountain West where the climate is very dry, I hate tinsel because, static electricity
Yeah.
and tinsel do not go well together.
Yeah. I do remember, like, getting to school and
Ugh,
finding 4 or 5 strands of tinsel on me.
stuck to you somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
yeah.
But if you love tinsel, you just go right on ahead, but I hope you don't have a
Go
cat.
ahead. It's coming back, like, I have seen pictures of trees with tinsel on them this year. My brothers and I were reminiscing about this because there's, like, this whole movement on social media about making Christmas tacky again because we've gotten so, like, the whole Instagram thing, right? Everything has to be, like, picture perfect and beautiful, and a lot of people have sort of abandoned that side of Christmas where
Yeah.
it's, like, your kids' ornaments and everything, and it's just sort of like, as gaudy as you can make it, kind of, like, festive and crazy.
Well, and I feel like our tree we've never done like a themed tree or anything. We've never done it.
Mhm.
It is like the kids' ornaments and like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember I think this was in the late 80s where you could go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal and there was a Little Mermaid ornaments in there, like Sebastian the Crab. Do you remember that? Or
Yeah.
the lobster guy?
Yeah. That would have been in the 90s because
Eh,
yeah. Yeah, if it was Little Mermaid.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it would have been in the early 90s. Yeah, okay. Because we were first married and we were like, I don't know why I was eating a Happy Meal. I was in my 20s. We didn't have any money. My early 20s. But yeah, so we have all the like Little Mermaid ornaments from the McDonald's Happy Meals. Yeah, totally tacky. And then
Nice.
of course, the little ones that the kids made. And I remember this was a long time ago. Oh my gosh. I was a kid. I was probably in grade school. And in the 70s, decoupage was a thing.
Yes. Yep.
So my mom, for some reason, we had a kit that had you had this little pressed, like almost like balsa wood, you know,
Uh-huh.
and it had a picture that was like an illustration, and you would stick that on there, and the balsa wood was the outline of the picture.
Okay.
And then so if you had a Christmas scene like a sleigh, for example, the outline of the balsa wood would be the outline of the sleigh, and then the photo of the sleigh was on there, the illustration, and then you like shellacked the crap out of it. I still have a bunch of those. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's probably 45 years ago.
Yeah.
They were durable, apparently.
Yeah. I wish I still had my ornaments from when I was a kid. Like that was every year in art class, we'd always make a ornament, and then every our art teacher was so good. Every grade did their own style of ornament.
Oh,
Yeah, and so we weren't bringing home 4 of the same exact
well,
ornaments,
that's
every
smart.
year we'd have 4 different new ornaments,
Yeah.
and I honestly don't know what my mom did with them. It may have or if, like, I don't know. I don't know what happened with
Maybe
them.
you should
They're
ask your brothers. Maybe someone has them.
no, they don't have them. Like, I know I was the one that everything came to at the end, and
Oh,
then I divvied it all
I
up, and they
see.
just weren't there,
Huh.
so I think in one of the moves, they probably were just like, "Eh."
Could be. That could
Yeah, so
Shall we talk about yarn?
yeah, I wanna show, the silly sheep colors. That's good timing. I just finished a row, Jana,
Oh,
good job.
good.
I wanna show
Oh,
the silly
yeah.
sheep colors now that I'm home.
We've moved on to the Jamiesons. However, I did
Yeah.
want to see all 6 colors together from days 12 to 18. Oh,
Sorry, I'm holding it weird. I have
oh,
it
that's
in
no, they're beautiful. There's like jewel tones.
Aren't they gorgeous?
They're lovely. I wasn't expecting the jewel tones.
Yeah.
That's
Love it. So those are the silly sheep. I wasn't able my stupid fingers in the way. I
okay.
wasn't able to
Beautiful.
show them all because I was traveling.
Yeah,
So, yep. And then we have the 3 Jamieson colors so
so
far.
far. Yeah. Cool.
Should I go ahead and do mine
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Okay.
22.
Yep.
Oh, it's an axe, a Viking axe.
2 Viking axes.
Nice.
All right. I think I've said it before, but I put these boxes together back in October and I don't remember the colors anymore.
You don't
So it's
have
all
to.
fun for me
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
Oh, let me fluff. I gotta fluff it.
gotta fluff it.
Okay, so the Jamieson's color, Jamieson's of Shetland for today is burnt umber.
Nice.
Burnt umber.
And
And
that
again,
looks like
so
a
this one
heathery
is
kind of thing too.
yeah, it's like golds and oranges and yellows,
Oh yeah,
all
there's a
to
lot in
make up
there.
the color.
Yeah, I love that because you could
Yeah,
combine that with so many different things and it would match up and pull out, whatever spec.
exactly. So so there's our 4 so far from Jamieson's of Shetland.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, let me put down my thing. I just finished my I-cord edge.
nice.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can put this down without making. Okay. So if you recall my ramen issue,
Yes.
because I got behind because I was knitting my second heel, but now
Yes.
I'm all caught up. So I can show you the one that we've missed and then the one for today as well.
Right.
Okay. So first I'm going to show you day 20.
2020.
I'm going to show
Day
you day
20.
20, which was when we last left off, we had that creamsicle color.
Right.
Remember, because we talked about creamsicle. So here's the creamsicle.
Ooh, I really like that color.
Ah, and then that one was very, very light. See, so we have 16 was the first one where I started the all the way around, 17, 18, 19, and then 20 is the creamsicle. And
Nice.
oh, there, see, that's a little better.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I did not start my heel until day 15
Right.
is when I separated from my heel was day 15. Lots of people have asked me, this is a regular heel flap and gusset. However, I just did the alternating slip stitch for the Eye of Partridge pattern. Not hard. Continued that through the heel turn because this will sit at the back of my heel. So I like that. But now I have all this extra padding and reinforcement on the bottom of my heel. So I've had a lot of people message me on Instagram too and comments. This is my customizable toe up method, and you can find that at purltogether.com. And then there's a button at the top of the website that says patterns, and it's all there.
Ta-da!
So the written instructions are all there, as well as links to the corresponding video tutorial. All
Awesome.
right. So that's
There you
day
go.
20. Day 21 is a little lighter. See that? It's like that peachy.
Ooh.
So 20 is
Yeah.
the creamsicle, 21's a little bit lighter.
I like that one too, though. I'm finding myself drawn more towards oranges for some reason,
Really?
to orange shades, which is not something I would have expected of myself.
Me either. And I'm liking how this has turned out with kind of, I mean, Michelle's whole theme was light to dark or dark to light. And so I'm
Uh-huh.
liking how it's turned out where I have all this together on the foot. And then it just happened where I
Yeah.
separated for the heel. Now I have the light stuff. Now it's going to switch back because once I get through my 24th stripe, I'll start back.
Right.
So
But
that
if you wanted to, you could take out the green and blues and purples and just do the oranges
I could,
again.
if I wanted to pull out the skein or wind it off, rewind it,
Yeah.
do that. I could.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to, but I could.
Okay.
You're right. That is a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh,
Oh,
okay. So now we're going
oh
to look
yeah. New color. New
at
color.
neutral. Okay.
Yep.
So next, ooh, that's very light. That's really light. I mean, it is a blush. It's a little different than the neutral. It's a kind of blush.
Oh wow.
See, there's the neutral right there, but it is very light. So
Yeah. I can just
you
barely
can't hardly
see
even
any
tell.
color to it at
But
all. Yeah.
when I knit it, you'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. When it's all together.
What that looks like, you'll see tomorrow. Yes. And speaking of subtlety, I'll show you what I have in my lap. Remember I was doing the solstice in green shawl and I'm doing all the
Uh-huh.
minis from this.
Yep.
So there's some color now.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Nice. You need longer arms, Jana.
Yeah. So it's gonna get much greener now, but this is gonna be my big
Nice.
schlankety thing. So you can,
Nice.
yeah, that's
Wrap
not
up.
gonna happen. Well, yes.
I don't have a whole lot to show. I
Ooh.
haven't knit very
Well,
much,
you've been
but
traveling and you were
I've
away,
been
but
traveling.
that's your top of the washer thing.
Yeah, top of the dryer to put the catch little
Side
powders.
box. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm glad you're home.
I am too.
Yeah.
Miss my bed. I really like my bed. It's always good to get back to it.
And it's also easier to talk about, lots of things when you're not in a doorway.
That is true. That is true.
But it was really cool. The photographs were beautiful. And particularly on the last day when you sent like the angel over the street, that was amazing.
Yeah, those are the Regent Street angels, they call them, and they've been using those as decorations at Christmas time for years now.
Super cool.
And I saw someone that had a reel. I don't know how true this is, but someone had a reel saying this was the last year they're going to use them. They have new plans for the future. So I was like,
Hmm.
that's a bummer, but
Well,
maybe
maybe
they
you'll
just
have to
need
go back.
replacing. I don't know. That
Maybe
might
you'll
be.
have to go back next year and see.
Twist
Yeah.
my arm.
See how many travel points you have by then. Excellent. All right. Well, it's good to see you.
Awesome.
We'll chat
Good to
again
see you too.
tomorrow. Okay.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.